Who's playing well and who's not playing well? Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast channel. That is right, exclusively its own home now. If you were with us before on the Laracuente Ledger Network, make sure you stay subscribed to that channel as we have new content coming for that channel. But to get all of your baseball-related content, it is exclusively here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast channel. Now, on this particular installment of the BBB, we're going to be looking at 3 teams that are playing well and 3 teams that are not, as well as 1 team to be on the lookout for. So who are those teams? Well, let's get into it. First, we look at the first up, and that is the Philadelphia Phillies. Over the last 10 games, the Phillies are 8-2 and having a very impressive 8-game winning streak. Over that time, they have dwindled down their run differential number to just -5. This is a very impressive turnaround for a team that is in a tough division to kind of grab hold of. The New York Mets have had a stronghold on that division for such a long time, but Philadelphia has clawed their way back in and therefore have found themselves as the one up on this week's countdown. Now, at the reverse of that, the first down, and that is going to be the New York Mets. Over that same time stretch, the last 10 games, the New York Mets are 2-8. And while Philadelphia is riding an 8-game winning streak, the Mets are riding a 4-game losing streak. This is a team that is going through a tough stretch because they are without their ace, Jacob deGrom. And as deGrom goes, so do the New York Mets. Although they do not score runs for deGrom, that is built around him at the front of that rotation. Now, the acquisition of Javi Baez is going to loom even larger when Francisco Lindor returns. But as of right now, this is one struggling player on a struggling team. Now, as we move on to the second up, we look at the Cincinnati Reds. Again, over the last 10 games, they are 8-2 over that time stretch. They find themselves riding a 5-game winning streak and have clawed back into the divisional race, trailing only the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, for Cincinnati, this trailing is still 5 games out in terms of the divisional race, but that is not an insurmountable number at this stage of the season. If Cincinnati can continue playing well, they will find themselves much closer to the top of that division. Now, as we look at the second down in this 3-up, 3-down countdown, we look at the Boston Red Sox. Over the last 10 games, they are 2-8 and would drop out of first place in the American League East and are now 4 games behind the Tampa Bay Rays. This is a very big drop-off for a very strong Boston team. This was a team that going into the season, not many people were giving a lot of credit to, but the offense for this team was always going to be a strong suit. The question was always going to be about pitching, and they got good pitching throughout the start of this season. Now here they are finding themselves in a bit of a down stretch, but this is the dog days of summer, and a very strong Boston team has a good chance of coming back. But they are being trailed very quickly by the Yankees and the Blue Jays. So if they don't find a way to right the ship very soon, they could be on the outside looking in of a postseason berth in 2021. Now, as we look at the third up in this countdown, we look at the Oakland A's. Again, 8-2 over their last 10 games, and they too are also riding a 4-game winning streak. The Athletics are trailing the Houston Astros by just a mere 2 games in the divisional race. That is going to be Oakland's strongest hope for the postseason. When you look at what this Oakland A's club is dealing with, we just spoke about the loss of Ramon Liriano, their star center fielder, a few days ago to a PED suspension. This is a resilient team that is continuing to fight back and claw back and get back to the top of that division. And as we round out the third down, staying in the AL West, the Texas Rangers are finding themselves on the low end of our list here. The Rangers are riding a 6-game losing streak and find themselves with a 3-7 record over their last 10 games. And they find themselves with the 4th worst run differential in the entire major leagues. Now, for those that may not know what run differential is, it's how many more runs you give up than the runs that you score. And right now, the Rangers are at negative 140 runs. Now, Texas was not supposed to be a team that anyone was expecting to compete in 2021. But for them to be this bad when they were trying to begin building a team that free agents would want to go to fill that new stadium, this was not the turn that they were looking to make. Now, as we round out this video, we look at one more team, and it's a team to be on the lookout for. And that Bolo team is the Toronto Blue Jays. Over their last 10 games, they find themselves 8-2 and with the American League's second best run differential at plus 123, trailing only the Houston Astros with plus 149. We know that Toronto is built around a young core of position position players, a la what the Chicago Cubs did back in 2016 to win their World Series. So the Blue Jays are not very far off, and they already acquired a top flight pitcher in Jose Berrios. This is going to be a very strong club to watch in the rest of 2021 and going beyond. So I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your feelings down in the comment section below. What teams do you feel that we missed in our 3 up, 3 down countdown? This is going to be something that we're going to bring to you on Mondays for the remainder of the season. So I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your feelings on that down in the comment section below. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below, as it does a huge service for us here as we continue to grow this new channel for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. Now make sure you also check out our sister channels, the Laracuente Ledger Network, SIBZ, and the Granite Geek Show. Links to all of those channels will be down in the show notes below. Now, one more thing before we get out of here. As the remainder of the baseball season continues, we will be re-uploading previous episodes of the Baseball Banter Broadcast on this new channel that were previously on the Laracuente Ledger Network. But that will not preclude us from bringing you new content each and every single week. So make sure you keep it locked in to the Baseball Banter Broadcast channel. I want to thank you guys for joining us. And once again, to all my baseball fans, let's play ball.